So let's say hi to Yaroslav.
Hello, do you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Good day, do you hear me?
Yaroslav, we can hear you.
Oh, super. If you don't mind, I would like to introduce myself. I'm 38 years old. I'm former inhabitant of Mariupol city, destroyed by Russian occupants. I'm married with one of the most beautiful women all over the world. And
well, hold on,
I'm
Yaroslav.
ready to tell you all about the macabre that was going on in Mariupol.
Well, hold on, Yaroslav. We have a fight now because it's my Ukrainian wife who's the most beautiful woman in the world. Do we have to fight now?
Lately.
You can have two different worlds, and you have the most beautiful in each of them.
Right now, I think every Ukrainian woman is the most beautiful woman in the world. How's that for a compromise?
Okay.
Just joking. Yaroslav, please. Where are you now, Yaroslav? Can you talk to us?
Look, now I'm a soldier of Ukrainian armed forces. I'm in Kiev, but there is a chance that we will go further. I cannot tell you wherefore, but we may be there. Half of my squad now in hospital, shattered in pieces. Alas, but it's okay. There is more potential to fight them off.
Yaroslav, 1 second. Ferlane, can you speak to Yaroslav? I want you to speak to Yaroslav for a second. Yaroslav, so you're saying that your wife is from Mariupol, and you're now in Kiev, and you're from Mariupol. You have fled the Russian invaders, the genocidal Russian psychopaths. You are now in Kiev Oblast, and as a member of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, you may or may not be preparing for a particular situation. I would really love the fact that your voice is here. I want our room, if we could, Domin, Axel, Battlemoose, whoever has the ability to do so, retweet the space and let people know we're with Yaroslav, Ukrainian soldier. He is talking to us. This is super important. This is where we reach people. We have a new and unlimited access to what's going on in Ukraine. We want to share it with people. Yaroslav, I want to thank you very much, and I'd like, Ferlane, if you don't mind, please welcome Yaroslav. I don't see his name often. I've never seen it before, rather, but please, we can all learn from your discussion with Yaroslav. Ferlane, please.
First of all, look, my wife is in Lviv. I hate Russia. This is one more point because I hate them, because she's apart 500 kilometers from me. I miss him. Just natural, I miss him. For the second, our relatives, our friends, people who are being described like our friends and close people, they managed to escape from Mariupol, but it was Hollywood may shoot some blockbuster about it.
Yaroslav, I want to apologize. You are the regular scheduled person, and I apologize. Everyone, please retweet the space. We have our speaker, Yaroslav. He is sharing with us, information right on the ground. And Yaroslav, please do continue. My apologies.
Should I retweet?
Everyone in the room. This is real. It's raw. It's live. It's Ukrainian soldiers fighting on the ground. This is our chance. For those in America, specifically, and in Canada, and the UK, and Europe, all over the world, Australia, New Zealand, we have live people here. These are actual Ukrainians who are risking their lives every day for the simple crime of being Ukrainian. Go ahead, Yaroslav.
Got you. I'll try to do it.
Ferlane, can you introduce Yaroslav? Can you tell us? I want to hear Ukrainian voices. We want to hear Ukrainian voices, please.
As far as I as far as I understand, Yaroslav has a linguistic background because his name tag is actually philologist. Can you tell us a little bit about your call sign?
Якщо люди хочуть почути мою українську, то я...
Ні, Єгуда мав на увазі, що більше українських голосів. You can continue in English if you want to.
No, but if you want to do Ukrainian, Ferlane will translate. She's a professional translator. Please follow Ukraine.
Я справді професійний військовий перекладач, тому Єгуда вирішив, що якщо треба буде переклад, то я тут, але мені здається, з вашою англійською не треба.
Okay. By the way, by diploma, I'm a translator.
That's why. I figured. I looked
crazy.
I looked at his name tag, and his name tag in reverse was philologist, and I can just read in reverse. So it's a pleasure seeing you on the panel. But if anything, as I know the days have been hectic, I'm here to support you in any possible ways because people have gone missing. Words sometimes are getting missing in all the languages. So if
also,
dearest lady, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and Yaroslav is under great stress and pressure, and sometimes I speak a few languages, and when I'm stressed out, I default to my mother tongue, which is not English, and so I want Yaroslav to feel as comfortable as possible. So, Ferlane, if you could provide supporting fires for Yaroslav, I would like to hand this off to you and Yaroslav for the next bit, please.
Oh, always. So, if anything, I'm here. As far as we remember, you had, as you said, a crazy story of people being trapped in Mariupol and then getting rescued or being evacuated. Can you tell us a little bit more on those efforts?
Last year. Give me, please, 2 minutes. I will describe. The massacre situation is that people in Mariupol can't be can't be escaped without money. So we pay to transporters a lot of money to escape people from Mariupol to free Ukraine. Just 2 weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago, I paid, we gathered in Facebook 30,000 of hryvnias. We added me and my wife, we added 14,000 of hryvnias of our funds, and our friend added 10,000 of hryvnias. It was a bit. It was among 54,000 of hryvnias to pay to escape my girlfriend with her 2 daughters.
So it's just to get like the vehicle and to get transported to the Ukrainian side of this whole front.
Yes, to Dnipro city.
Which is there's like a huge distance. How did they move through the checkpoints? How it's absolutely insanely dangerous place to start with.
First of all, the transplantation is being due to women. Women are on the wheel. The second one, that this is all is connected with monies to the every checkpoint. So transporter is coming up. They know each other. Okay, and she goes further.
It's like a system of bribes. You kind of bribe the guards on the checkpoints, like Russians, I mean.
Yeah, surely. Absolutely.
Do you still have a lot of contacts who are trapped in Mariupol? Do you have like a line of volunteers who are in touch with them?
Look, I happily and gladly, most of all of my relatives and friends and people who are important for me, they could escape from Mariupol. But there are two families who left in Mariupol. I'm caring about them, and I'm trying to help them to escape. There are different various, for example, through Russian Federation, alas. But I'm hoping that they will escape through Berdyansk to Zaporizhia and then to free Ukraine. But this is so tough and so complicated topic that every situation demands so great enforcements to take it that it's fucking shit. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. Actually, like for those of you who haven't heard me or anyone else in space, before the war I hardly ever cursed. Maybe only when working with the military, when the situation implied emotional response, and then I had to interpret the person who's cursing because that's what I do for a living, like interpret. But now I don't filter myself. I'm sorry. I just I switched off all the filters so I can relate.
Our dearest audience of the United States, please forgive us.
Yeah, just for this time, we switched off all of our censorship. Let's call it censorship. Yeah, I actually have had a lot of stories of people who had to flee from Mariupol, who were forcefully dragged from Mariupol to Russia, and then they're like crazy routes to St. Petersburg, and then to Kaliningrad, and then further on. But now those routes are almost closed. And I know that there are a lot of filtration camps in Russia. Are there filtration camps in Mariupol right now? Do you know about those?
Yes, there are plenty of them, alas. Look, for example, my friend who managed to escape from Mariupol in the last of February, then he returned to pick up his first wife and his son. And he managed to do that. I'm sorry. And then he got into the filtration camp, and that was awful. They just use the Kalashnikov into your face and ask, what do you think about Ukraine?
So it's like a test. If you fail, what's going on if you fail it? Is it gonna be smashed on the spot, or you're gonna be sent to some kind of further torture?
Look, the people who are smart, they of course pretend to be not to be for Ukraine, like my friend when he took away his wife and his son. But other people, and he was observing it, young men, those rastards on checkpoints, they pulled out the young men from the bus. They kneeled them, and then Oleg didn't know what was going on further, but I'm afraid that this went well.
Yeah, I've read a lot of the reports about people missing, and then obviously you always saw the satellite imagery of massive graves all along the city.
Oh yeah, last year.
Sorry, but how is the adaptation of your family in Western Ukraine going? Are they able to, switch to some kind of normality or not?
I'm a little bit lucky in comparison with my citizenships because, first of all, me and my wife, we moved to Kyiv in 2016. So we were in comparatively safe life when the war started. For the second, my father, his wife, and his daughter and step managed to escape from Mariupol in the, if I'm not mistaken, in the 18th of March, on his old car. But this car saved them because it managed to deliver them to Nuremberg, Deutschland. They saved a 12 years old Mariupol boy who was observing how is he becoming an orphan, because they were in the basement of drama theater, and they were aircraft bomb, and his mother was in so-called field kitchen, and he looked like she died.
Oh, Lord, for those of you who are trying to imagine what was happening, you probably have seen the biggest drama theater that we had in the eastern part of Ukraine, which is Mariupol Drama Theater, the theater of drama. That's precisely the one with the big, like red or burgundy, like rooftop, with the massive sign in Russian with kids, which was bombed. That was the shelter for thousands of people from Mariupol who were trying, to save themselves from Russian bombardments. But instead of saving them, or instead of making sure that they can survive, Russia directly bombed them and then blatantly lied that was a place of, UI shelters or like militaries, which is absolute lie. It was mostly thousands of civilians.
I would like to reassure you that there were no any military squad in drama theater when those bastards bombed it. I can send you a video interview with Sasha, that 12 years old boy, where he describes all the things that were going on.
And it's absolutely understandable, even if there were some people in uniform. We're in a state of war, and our military are helping sometimes, to move some stuff, to protect, to defend, like all-round defense. It's normal. It's normal. What is not normal is just bombing anyone. And this Sasha, how is he right now? What's his emotional state? Where is he? He's in Lublin right now, in Germany, as far as I understand.
No, he is now in Lviv with my wife. As you remember, I started my conversation with the statement that I am missing my wife. Now he's in Lviv. My wife tries to reconstitute his documents, because he left Mariupol with my father without any documents, without any papers. And soon we are going to make adoptment.
So he's going to be adopted by your by you and your wife?
Yes.
Oh Lord, you're such a wonderful, wonderful human being for doing this, and I'm just extremely touched and honored to know you.
We are former inhabitants of Mariupol.
Yeah, that's typical Ukrainian. So if you see someone in need, you can.
On the 7th of May, Sasha turned up to be 13 years old, and I am, from my salary of as a soldier of armed forces of Ukraine, I presented him electro scooter. He's happy now.
I hope that he will be smiling more. Like just riding that scooter. That's something which right now, like just seeing people in the streets, like kids smiling, it just warms my heart.
Tell us what's happened to Mariupol, Yaroslav. Is there any hope? Do you dream of it? Do you want to go back?
No dream, only insurance. I know we will come back. The only problem that now it is impossible to renovate it, to rebuild it, only to build from scratch. But we will be back, and like a soldier, I know that we will be back. Believe me.
You might even say, "I'll be back."
Yes.
For those who don't appreciate my horrible jokes, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger reference. But I think as the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, the current situation will never be resolved until Ukraine is back where it needs to be, in its own land, in its own country. And thank you so much, Yaroslav. This is we're very honored to have you here. If you could please retweet, let everyone know we're speaking to a Ukrainian soldier. We've had many Ukrainian soldiers on. Sadly, we had Roman Ratushny, a young man who.
That's my pain and pain of all Ukraine.
Yeah, it's all of our pain. But we will not give up. We will not falter. We will not turn the other cheek. We will continue to support Ukraine if you could be so very kind as to retweet this space. Let everyone know we're here. Go to mariaa.org.
May I give a last word of our interview?
There's no last words. There's only the words you want to give. Please go ahead.
My respectful, dearest friends of the United States of America, we do realize that HIMARS MLR 270, these all due to your taxes, that you're working and pay taxes. Please believe us. This is not for. We do not take it for granted. We appreciate it, and I'm surely hope if I'll be alive, I will come to your beautiful country and visit Big Apple, for example.
Yaroslav, and just so you know, the spaces here and people who are supporting Ukraine are literally all over the world. We have representatives from Canada, from Australia, from Japan, from Estonia, Slovenia, France, you name it. And we are not alone. This is the main message. And HIMARS, for as long as they are efficient and effective, they're really cool, but having this support that we have, the ongoing, everlasting, unwavering support is also such a, it's just a reassurance that tomorrow will come, and as Yehuda said, the Ukrainian sun rises on Donbass, and Donbass will rise again. I was actually wanted to ask Yaroslav, forgive if I'm taking too much of your time. What was the 24th of February for you? Because sometimes I try to recall the day, and it's
what happened when the Nazis rolled over the border?
Yeah, but what was your 24th of February? How did it look for you?
I don't want to pretend to be the smartest one, but I started to be ready for this invasion from the very start of January. And when it started, I woke up, I hugged my lovely wife, and I asked her to go to Lviv, to the western part of our country. And then decided to be a soldier and to protect our country.
Mm-hmm. And what happened then? Did you fight in Mariupol, or did you connect with your unit in Kiev Oblast? What did you do?
I connected with my squad in Kiev, and then I became a soldier of armed forces of Ukraine.
Yaroslav, what did you do before the war? Every day. You woke up, you had a coffee, what happened?
Before the war, I'm trying not to...
If you remember that.
Of course I remember. I had a digital marketing agency. It was my own business, and it was successful. We were roaming all the Europe with my wife, Italy, Czechia, Germany,
Czech Republic,
Spain, and so on.
So it wasn't OnlyFans, right?
Yeah.
Good. No, all jokes aside, so you had your own productive business. You got to travel Europe, living in Mariupol, until the Horde, Horde, the Horde, the Russian Horde, came across the border to murder.
Russian degradants, not the Horde.
They came to destroy Ukraine, murder its people, rape its children.
They wouldn't manage to.
Herom Slava, we're here. If anyone has a question for our friend Yaroslav, Yaroslav, thank you so very much. This is a very impactful and meaningful discussion. Our role here at Maria Report is to share with the world the genocide and the evil being perpetrated by Russia against Ukraine. And we have some people here on the panel who want to speak. We have Mohammed Berry. He's come up. Mohammed, do you have a question for Yaroslav? Go ahead. We might not be able to reach Mohammed. Mohammed, give your head a shake. Are you there?
I see Peter is actually, yeah, Peter.
Oh, Peter. You know what? We have a Peter Doran. He is an exceptional individual. He's a very well-known author, a senior fellow at some place or another, friend of the show, very, very good man. Peter Doran, if you don't mind, do you have a question for our friend Yaroslav?
I do, and at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, Yehuda. Yaroslav,
My apologies.
No problem. You're doing great, Yehuda. Yaroslav, we get this question a lot on the space. I am always very keen to hear what Ukrainians have to say. We talk about victory. We talk about the fact that Ukraine must win. I fully agree. In the West, we all agree Ukraine must win. But the moment you ask about what does victory look like, differences appear. From your perspective, what do you think victory in this war should look like?
Oh, Peter, great question. Thank you very much. Look, all the combatants in Ukrainian armed forces think, consider, and are eager to not to be on the borders of the 1991. No, we want to devastate Russian Federation as it is.
Is that good enough, Peter?
Sorry, I beg your pardon. One more time.
Sorry, no, I was asking Peter's. What's that? Does that sound proper to you?
The recovery of Ukraine's sovereign territory seems like a very good first start at victory. So thank you, Yaroslav.
You're welcome.
Thanks so very much, Peter. Peter, great friend of the show. We're going to speak later. We've got Leonard, not Skinnerd, but a Leonard. He's from Canada, home of of us. Leonard, go ahead.
Thank you, Yehuda. Yes, not Skinnerd and not Cohen, but yes.
Sorry, not Cohen, because the man's dead, and that would be weird.
Yeah, that would be more than weird. More Phoenix-like, but regardless.
Rising from the ashes, Leonard does. Go ahead.
Thank you. I wanted to say Slava Ukraine, Yaroslav. Your voice right this moment is resonating across Canada. And I just wanted to say, I very seldom get choked up for words, but at this moment I am choked up somewhat for words. So I'm going to be short, and I'm going to just tell you that the message you're bringing this morning is resonating Canada-wide. There are many people in Canada who have followed step by step with great anxiety everything that has unfolded in Mariupol. And today, hearing your statements, hearing your rendition of what went on, just reinforces the resolve that exists Canada-wide, supporting your effort and the efforts of your brave countrymen this moment. And all I would say is that, in conclusion, sir, we are very much looking forward to the day when Mariupol is returned to its proper and rightful place, and the time when you and your family and your countrymen can retake possession of Mariupol and bring it forward into the future to reclaim the glory and the future fruition that your entire country will come to. So thank you again for your words today, and understand, sir, that your voice has an impact far beyond and far wider than what you may appreciate right this moment. Thank you, sir.
That's a fact, Yaroslav. Your voice reaches, I mean, not just now with 300, 400, 500 people, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands listen to our YouTube and our podcast and our Spotify. Please speak truth to power. Verlaine, what does speaking truth to power mean in Ukraine? I can't say it.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. Not only I, all the Ukrainian warriors appreciate it. And the best estimation of your words of support will be when I will hug my lovely wife.
Yaroslav, again, thank you very much for spending the time with us this evening, dear Ku. We've heard a lot of noise in recent days and weeks about the Russian occupation troops in Mariupol not only operating filtration and torture camps, but also starving the city, turning off utilities where they still remained, not just those which were destroyed, but actually literally making sure that there is no running water anywhere, and not providing fresh water as any occupation force and any army invading would normally have to do. They're not providing civil services, and they have taken away all medics and all hospital capacity. Can you talk more about it?
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're absolutely right, Luke. The lady who was escaped with my assistance with her daughters from Mariupol only 1 week ago, she told me that she had to stay in the line for drinking water for 3-4 hours in a day. But at the same time, by Russians, they were driven up by a big TV panel and were showing some of the Russian fucking propaganda. So no water, but propaganda there is.
Well, there's always propaganda in Russia. There rarely ever is any food or any freedom. What can you tell us about the medical condition of people?
Alas, I do not have good news for you. For example, the aunt of my wife in Mariupol, she is doctor. The wife of my father, she is doctor too. They all left the city. I don't know what do they do now, but I think that medical circumstances are awful.
I have received a lot of reports and read about people just drinking water from puddles.
Verlaine, can you up the speaker there? We can't hear you so well.
Is it better?
Much better.
Okay, perfect. We did hear and received a lot of reports that the situation with water was so drastic. People started drinking from puddles, and then actually there was almost an outbreak of cholera, as far as I remember. So, as far as I understand, it's just going worse and worse day by day.
That's true, I prove.
How many more people do you think, because we don't have any confirmed numbers, the Ukrainian armed forces have been relatively mum about it, as in not releasing much in terms of indications, and probably they just also don't know. But what are your, and the people who have left, current estimates? How many people are still as civilians in Mariupol?
No, I think you do realize that this is my subject estimation, yes?
Of course.
So, look, I think that there are about 1,100 of native Mariupol citizens left in this cemetery town. Of course, we've got some percent or some share percent of pro-Russian people there, but most of them are innocent, believe me, because I told you before that people have to stay in the line to take drinking water, and they parallelly have to watch the Russian propaganda.
So 100,000 people is your estimate?
Yes, and about 40,000 of the corpse lost.
Let's have Mr. Pickle. You have a question for Yaroslav?
I do. I wanted to thank him, and you don't have to thank anyone. You're risking your life, and we just have to pay our taxes, and so thank you again. And how's morale in your unit? And what do you say to? I'm sorry.
Any support from our friends is very estimated. Believe us, it's very. It's inspired us.
Well, you chose democracy. You chose you wanted to leave that terrible autocracy that is your neighbor, and you chose us. So we have to help. It's just our duty. And my last question is, what do you tell people? So first of all, do Russians care in Mariupol if you drink or not? Do they care?
I'm sorry for abusing words, but Russians don't give a fuck about Mariupol.
Exactly. So what do you say to people who say, okay, let's just give some land to Russia to shut up? Is that fair to the people who live there?
No, or how about this? How about the Russians that say, we are protecting Mariupol. We have made it good. We have made Mariupol Russia again. What do you say to that?
I would like to say you that Mariupol, before the 24th of February, was one of the most prosperous cities in Ukraine. We named it. It's my native city. I know what I'm talking about. We named it like industrial hub of Ukraine, with its own port. What do I want to say? We will fuck them all.
And that's a good thing. Yeah, you know what? I usually don't use potty language, but they deserve it. They've asked for it. They have behaved in a manner most egregious to have. And we're going to bring up some of our friends. We've got John Howarth and Gurney. John, go ahead.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Yehuda. And good evening, Yaroslav. Thank you so much for coming and speaking to us. We talk a lot in this space, mainly among people who are not Ukrainian, about freedom for Ukraine, about peace for Ukraine, but also about justice for Ukraine. And at this point in time, is justice something that Ukrainians discuss with each other? And if they do, what do they say? Thank you.
Between each other, Ukrainians, civilians, yes, not the warriors, civilians cheers about for the peace through victory. This is our main goal.
Peace through victory. Is that so?
Yes.
Amen the amen. Leonard, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
I just had a brief question for Yaroslav, and this concerns Yaroslav. What you may know or any perceptions you might have as to what the status of the brave Azovstal defenders is presently. We've seen a number of distressing reports out of the press in that vicinity that there may be some mistreatment, or there's indications that even some of the leaders of the group are being persecuted and maybe purportedly tried, and some form of a public spectacle being pursued by the Russians. Do you have any insight as to the status of those brave defenders or their well-being, or any insight as to what the near future holds for them? Do you have any feedback on that area at all? Thank you.
I beg your pardon. Do you mean do I know what is going on in our celebrity or establishment, so-called establishment layers?
I was talking more about the captives who were captured as a result of the defense at the Azovstal.
Do you have any information on the captured Ukrainians from Azovstal?
My dearest friends, alas, I don't know. I don't have any information. I just want you to know that as a former inhabitant of Mariupol city, I've got 4 defenders of Azovstal who are captured now. But I don't know what is going on. I don't know. So they will be exchanged. I don't know nothing, and I'm trying not to think about it because it drives me mad.
Fair enough. Thank you so much for that. We're going to bump down some people. We have a lot of questions for you. Yaroslav, how much time do you have? Another 10, 15 minutes? How much time?
I'm all at your disposal.
Thank you very much. We have Scandinavian Naval. Go ahead.
Yes, mic check.
Loud and clear, buddy. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you to Yaroslav for incredibly powerful testimony regarding your struggle, and I'm just grateful that you share these experiences with the listeners. And I just wanted to sort of I'm too young, so I have no personal experience of the struggles that you're going through, but I'm a Finn, so in Finland we faced the same main enemy, as we call them here, in 1939 against incredible odds. And we were not equipped properly at the time. But through perseverance and courage, the nation was able to defend itself and fend off the same enemy that you are fighting now. And I just wish you strength. And you know, I can say as a Finn that I think the whole country here is behind the struggle of Ukraine, and we're trying to do as much as we can to help you. And we are very, very grateful for that. And I just wish you strength and stamina and belief to the future. So thanks for everything that you do.
Amen. I'd rather learn Finnish than Russian, I'm quite sure. What about you, Yaroslav?
Thank you, my dearest friend from Finland. Just for your information, when we, among our Ukrainian warriors, when we are talking about that the defeating of Russia is irresistible, we always remain Finland. So you never gonna forget about this. You fucked them up in 1939. And we remember about it. And you're our example. So now we've got the 21st century. So please learn IT, build a strong economy, and build your army. You fucked them up there, and we will fuck them now.
I have no doubts that you will, and I truly believe in that, and I see it happening. And the other thing which I wanted to add, which may be the only there are many silver linings potentially here once Ukraine prevails and defeats Russia, is that Finland was a country in 1939, but that was seriously divided amongst itself. So there were lots of political disputes and also some ethnic disputes and all these sort of things. But the fact that there was a common enemy that attacked the country proved to be the best formula to unite the country, and was actually the seeds of the prosperous economy that we developed after the war. And I see the same signs in Ukraine, and I believe that you have an incredible future in front of you. Thank you again, and I'll put myself down.
Thanks, Scandinavian. Yaroslav, over to you.
I'm listening.
Our friend from Finland said that basically the Russians gave the Finns no choice. They had to fight for their survival, unless they'd be overrun by the Russians. And the Finns, a lot of people don't know. Our American friends, probably Canadian, Western allies, the Finns stood up to Russia in the most remarkable way. If you want to look at the Russo-Finn War, the Finns sent them packing. So they lost a bit of land for sure, but they never gave up. The Finn spirit, as our friend has said, is mirrored in the spirit of every Ukrainian soldier, serviceman or woman, who says, no, Russia. I will not be a vassal of you. I will not be a slave of Russia. I would rather die free. And so that's a big deal. It's an incredible experience. Thank you so very much, Scandinavian. Yaroslav appreciates it. We have Gunny next. Gunny, go ahead.
Yaroslav, thank you so much for being here and just giving your testimony. If I'm hearing all of your testimony today, I mean, you're a husband, a father, a business person, a taxpayer in Ukraine, now a volunteer soldier helping your country, adopting, helping refugees, adopting from Mariupol. You're doing more than I think I could even imagine you're doing whilst fighting this off. And in all of those experiences, what I find really humbling to myself is that amidst everything that you're doing, the responsibilities that you are bearing, I'm just humbled to hear you even mention my country and our taxpayers as part of that burden or responsibility to just thank them. And I just want to say that humbles me. And while it's wholly unnecessary to thank us because you're bearing this burden, it just speaks to me in the sense of, the investment that you have in your country, in your future, and the way that you carry yourself and the way that you at the same time, while you're bearing all those burdens, you still make it a point to very humbly thank those who are helping you. And that just touches me. I can't imagine how busy and how eventful your days are and how tired you are at the end of the day. But that just reinforces to me, how much of an investment in our partners you guys are, and what an asset you guys are to really have in Ukraine, working as partners. And I'm just so humbled to that any of us here can be of assistance. And thank you, Yaroslav.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Yaroslav, if you could speak out to all of us, what would you want us to do? How could we help you? Is it promote the cause of Ukraine through our democratically elected representatives? Is it send money to Maria Aid so we can buy you things to prosecute this war? Totally curious.
If you are eager to send money, I will send you my PayPal. Thanks God. It started to work in Ukraine, but most of all, I want to say you that just words of support, they matter. You can't imagine how much they matter. I mean Ukrainian soldiers, Ukrainian warriors. We get your words of support with the cries on our eyes. So thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. And so what we do is we send funds through mariaaid.org. We don't send anything directly, but we can get your information and speak to our team. If you need any individual help, we have donors, private, personal donors at Maria Report who help out individuals in Ukraine. And if they don't want to send the money through Maria Aid, they will help individuals on a case-by-case basis based on the situation at hand. And thank you for that. I want to make it very clear that Maria Report exists to, share with the world the Russian genocide, the murder of Ukrainian civilians, and the destruction of Ukraine. And on top of it, we support mariaaid.org, which is an NGO geared and dedicated to assisting Ukrainians. So if there's anything outside that scope, we have donors that say, we've heard from Yaroslav, we're going to help him out directly. What we do is we give those donors that information, but in the spirit of transparency and all that jazz, we make it clear that we are a one-horse race. We do support Maria Aid. But thank you very, very, very much for that. Fraulein, to tie it off from one Ukrainian to another, can you speak to Yaroslav?
Sure. Actually, Yaroslav, I wanted to ask you, how is your unit right now in terms of the supplies? Do you have enough of the protection or like PPE? Do you have a set up line of the procurement? Has the government provided you with everything needed, or you're working your own with the line of volunteers maybe supporting you?
Look, there are some differences. The weapons are provided with government and Ministry of Defense, but some equipment is being provided by me. For example, thermal imager or night vision complexes. So that is how is it going on.
Yeah, so it depends. I get it. Well, it also depends on the unit and where you're in and the list of the priorities. So for those of you who just tuned in and have never heard about Maria Aid or the team of the volunteers who are supporting, helping, and assisting Maria Aid, it's a foundation that's being established as a response to the full-fledged invasion of Ukraine. Since the beginning of war, a lot of people felt helpless and wanted to assist in many possible ways, and a lot of us in Via Aid have either have worked for the Ministry of Defense in Ukraine or have worked in the missions that were in Ukraine, specifically Canadian Operation Unifier, and we have people who have had their relatives or their loved ones or their friends in Ukraine, and there was an urge to help. It took some time to get the things and paperwork done, but since I'd say March and April, we've been efficiently providing support to the soldiers and civilians in Ukraine with
I do
equipment.
So please tell me if it is possible to connect you with my commandant. He's surgeon. He speaks English too, and to realize all these possibilities that you described me.
We'd be very pleased, Yaroslav. Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, but at the same time, you have to understand that though we have been providing this help, so as of right now, our capabilities are still limited because we're just growing. Like, we don't have the capacities of Poverny, for instance, because they have been on the arena, let's say, for a while, and they are well known. But what can be helped in terms of medical supplies, and if there is a possibility, it will be addressed for sure.
I do realize I am grateful, and all the armed forces of Ukraine are grateful to you. You are all the best, and we love you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yaroslav. That was an amazing experience, and for all of our friends, please go ahead and follow Mariupol Yar. That's Yaroslav Matiushyn, no?
Yes, Matiushyn.
Thank you very much. It was an amazing experience, and we hope to have you back, and God willing, we will all celebrate one day in Ukraine.
Good. We will do it.
Thank you. Be well, and thanks very much.